site selection for groundnut, cowpea, and soya cultivation. In Ghana, there are several vegetation types or ecological zones, namely Guinea savanna, coastal savanna, semi-deciduous forest, and the transitional zones. Most of these zones are suitable for the cultivation of groundnut, cowpea, and soya. Although generally northern Ghana is considered to be a Guinea savanna zone, there are areas with sandy soils, loamy soils, and clayey soils, and it is up to you to examine the type of soil on the land you plan to cultivate to determine if it is suitable for the crop you want to grow. In this message, we are going to discuss special signs you should look out for when selecting a new site for cultivation. First, it is important to know why site selection is an important activity. If you have been cultivating your field for over 10 years continuously without allowing a fallow period, it has most likely lost all of its fertility, so you should start considering moving to a new site next season or soon to allow your present field a few years to regain its strength and fertility. A fallow period of 1 year for each 4 years of continuous cultivation should be allowed. That is when this message on site selection will be most useful to you, because you will have to be very strategic in selecting the next site for growing your groundnut, soya, or cowpea. In selecting a new site, observe the vegetative cover of the field very closely. Plant growth on a field is indicative of the level of fertility of the land, so you should observe the nature of the weeds on the field. Fields with good growth of weeds that look very green are likely to be fertile enough to support the growth of your crops. The mere presence of weeds is, however, not enough. You need to observe the kind of weeds on the field. The more varieties of weeds or plants you notice on the field, the better it will be for your crops. This is because nutrient requirements vary for different plants. Therefore, a field that is able to support different plants at the same time indicates a soil that has good levels of all the major and minor nutrients needed for good plant growth. Now, it is time to focus on the soil itself. A good soil for groundnut, cowpea, or soya cultivation is one that has a high organic matter content and also has good drainage. The high organic matter content tells you that the soil is very fertile, and cultivation might need only small supplementary mineral fertilizers such as NPK or SSP for good yields. This is how you tell the level of organic matter in the soil. First, dig up the earth with your hoe and collect a handful of soil. If the soil has good organic matter, you should observe some leaves or organic residue in the process of decaying. Also, the color of the soil should be dark. Lastly, lands with good organic matter should also have living organisms in the soil, such as earthworms and ants that aid in the decay of organic residue and improve soil structure and aeration. Therefore, if you dig up a big enough portion of the field, you should see some living organisms. Remember that both clay and sandy soils are not suitable for groundnut, cowpea, and soya cultivation. A clay soil would not have good infiltration, so water that collects on the surface will take a very long time to be absorbed into the ground. Avoid such fields. Also, sandy soils have very poor water retention, so water rapidly infiltrates through the soil and is not retained at the right depth to be accessed by the roots of the plant. Sandy soils also lose water to the environment very quickly through evaporation when the weather gets very hot. For groundnut production, one very important thing you should consider is soil compaction. This is because groundnut pods are produced underground. Hence, with very compact soils, penetration of pegs on which the pods are formed will be very difficult and will also cause the pegs to break during harvest. This is why clayey soils are not suitable. Groundnuts require level or gentle sloping fields with well-drained sandy loam soils that facilitate penetration of the pegs after pollination and easy digging without pod loss. Like groundnut, both cowpea and soya also require a well-drained sandy loam soil, as this ensures good seed germination and plant establishment, resulting in good plant growth and good yield. As you already know, good rainfall or water supply is essential for the cultivation of all crops. You should select sites in areas where the annual rainfall does not fall below 700 millimeters and is well distributed throughout the season. You should therefore talk to your AEA or CEA and have a fair idea about the average amount of rainfall recorded in a particular area before making a final decision on the site. If you follow the above guidelines in the selection of your site for cultivating your groundnut, cowpea, and soya, you will be on the right path to making a good decision that will lead to a good yield. However, once you have selected your site based on the criteria mentioned above, you should proceed to have your soil tested to confirm that it has the essential nutrients, phosphorus and potassium, and other elements that are necessary for groundnut, cowpea, and soya production.